How's it going, everyone? And welcome to another episode of No Excuses with your favorite show hosts, Aristel.
Venerian.
And Volosel, and we're all here together to bring you the latest news and games commentary for the week that was. Yes, all of us.
Yes. Not that there was a whole lot during this week. We're kind of in the pre-announcement doldrums at the moment.
Everybody is waiting with bated breath to see what the Doritos Pope has to say at his next address.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. If you'd like to get involved with the show, you can do so by sending us email at noexcusesvtw@gmail.com. You can follow us on the Twitter at noexcusesvtw, though I recommend against using the Twitter because it will ruin your life. Or you can join us in the Discord server, which you can get to by clicking on the link provided in the show description underneath the archive on YouTube.
Will also ruin your life, but in a more fun way.
Well, yes. So, yeah, unfortunately this week has been drama. But that's basically all the news cycle has been, is just drama.
The drama cycle.
The drama cycle.
But I mean, that's what they say, right, about the so-called 24-hour news cycle. The only way you can keep the news flowing is if you just supply endless drama.
Yes. Although for some reason YouTube has suddenly decided I want to see Urianger memes, and I don't know why. Forsooth. My milkshake bringeth all the good boys to the yard. And so on.
Mine is just like, you're fondling.
Ugh. Oh yeah, also One Punch Man Season 3 memes. That's also going around.
I didn't hear what you said because RSD sang over it.
He said, nya, 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 nya. Yeah, also a whole lot of One Punch Man Season 3 memes.
Oh yeah, I heard it's just deeply atrocious. Like the production quality is appalling on a new level. Which, considering how bad the previous season was, that's kind of impressive that this one is even notable.
Yeah, like Season 1 had a good amount of budget. They made something pretty good with it. Season 2, I think they halved the budget. And then Season 3, they've halved the budget again.
I'm reminded.
Like everyone's seen the that shot of one character just sliding down the hill on one foot.
What I've seen is the anime put up against a slideshow of just the manga frames, and the frame rate of the manga is significantly higher than the animation.
Yes! But when you actually see the manga put up like that and played in sequence at a consistent frame rate, it looks really good. So, yeah. Alright, as far as Wuwa goes, I'm on my home stretch towards level 22, and I just banked some, I forget what they're called already, Culuses. And that got me like a third of a level, so that was good. I should just go and punch Inferno Rider for a little while, I think.
Or he'll punch you, it remains to be seen.
Make sure your dudes are at least leveled up.
Piccolo's advice.
Yeah. What is your team right now?
My team is still the default team because I haven't really got too much. So it's Havoc, Rover, Yang Yang, and Baiji still. I do have a few more characters now, which I should really look into, but I just haven't yet. Because I've got the Encore, I've got Lumi, I've got Sanhua, who you get as a freebie. And
Lumi is quite bad. Sanhua is quite good. Yang Yang is bad until you get C6, which I don't have, and that bothers me. So I would swap Yang Yang for Sanhua going forward. Maybe not right now because you probably haven't leveled Sanhua at all.
Yeah, but I can level her up pretty quick, I think.
Sanhua outros into Encore extremely well. Like those two, they mesh together perfectly.
Right.
Don't she buff basic attacks?
Yeah, she buffs basic attack, and Encore does a lot of damage during her ult with basic. So those two mesh together really, really well for a starter team. Like an extremely good starter team to get you going with for everything except fighting Inferno Rider, which Encore obviously needs, is using Baiju as the support healer and Sunway as a sub DPS, and then Encore as the main DPS.
Once you get Encore to whatever your current max level is, you can pivot to go fighting the what is that thing called? It's in the Lampy
Myriad?
Yeah, it's the Lampy Lumen ice thing.
The most telegraphed attacks of all time, much easier than Inferno Rider, whose attacks are all slightly different, but don't really look it.
Yeah, right now, I think I need to actually go and beat up Crownless for a little while, just so I can get the Ascension materials for Rover.
Ascension materials for Rover. Oh, Havoc Rover. Wait, what?
No, hold on. Unless you've got Sonnet's caskets, you won't be able to use them though.
Oh no!
Because Rover's got atypical Ascension requirements.
Yeah,
being the
Just
main
to be
character
difficult.
and all.
Yeah.
So you just need, usually you'll just need like plants and stars, and then the special one from Sonnet's caskets.
Yeah.
They don't tend to be. I don't think anyway that they are bound to an element. So Crownless will do you no good.
yeah.
Well, that's probably the best because Crownless is so annoying.
Rover shouldn't need any Ascension boss drop materials to level up.
Yeah, I just got to find where the best place to find stars and pink flowers are. Then
That's like any old Tacit Discord. The humanoid ones will drop the stars at a random rate.
The
rate is not good.
Yeah, no. The area around Inferno Rider, that whole town, busted up town area, has a ton of them.
All right, I might have
That's the highest
mosey on over there.
concentration of them. It's not going to get you any Union XP though.
No.
We can help you murder stuff if you just find a way to get Union XP. Push comes to shove, you could just do the shell credit farm. That'll get you 550 per kill just as fast as Inferno Rider will.
I mean, if you want to level Rover probably uses sword mats, right?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I haven't done anything with Rover, so I don't know what Rover uses.
Let me find where that is for him. Tell him what domain to go do.
From the little bit of research I've done, it's Rover, or particularly Havoc Rover, tends to be a good gap filler for a lot of teams.
Also, in the Inferno Rider area, you'll see a square diamond that has cross swords in it. Do that.
Go and do that.
Is that where the sword one is?
Yeah, that's where the sword one is.
All right. That'll get you per clear. That's going to get you 300. And you can also cash in 2 clears for every time you actually do it if you want.
Yeah,
so that will get you a cool 600 right out the gate if you can cash in 80 wave plates.
Which I can because I've got wave plates for days.
And then we can come in and once you get 22, murder Lampy Lumen and Inferno Rider for you to get Encore and Sanwa and Maiji. Other boss drops they need to catch up to your current level.
Yeah,
it's
so
gonna waste all of my drops. I need to go kill some bosses so that I don't waste any more guaranteed drops.
I mean, we can go kill regular
I've
and
already
permanent.
wasted them all. I've already wasted them all. I don't need to worry about that.
Okay, we can go kill a nightmare.
Probably that freaking dragon was probably the last one too.
I'm gonna go murder Nightmare and Permanence Heron again.
Check in.
So, Fern, while you're going to that domain to get your last bit of Union XP, what have you done this week?
It's been another full-on work week, just catching up on various other things. Gaming-wise has been fairly light. Still chipping away at Return to Moria. Playing dwarves and singing holes without digging holes. I'm slightly disappointed that the actual Diggy Diggy Hole song is not in the game, unless it's buried in there as an Easter egg. But I've went it further than I have in the previous runs, and you kind of reach a point where the game just starts throwing ridiculous amounts of orcs at you. And half of them have poison arrows, and you can't see half of them half the time because they're either off in the shadows or they're behind you. So you're going to get poisoned and you're going to die a lot. So that's fun. It feels like, honestly, the game is balanced around having multiple players. It's it's playable single player, but it's not the optimal way to play it. But that said, it's fun. It's got a good amount of Lord of the Rings lore in there. It's still respectful to the franchise and doesn't do anything ridiculous.
You know what? I actually need regular impermanence here and just the drop.
Yeah,
All that.
that's fun. Anime wise, unfortunately, all the sites I've been going to have had the boogeyman come after them again, so I need to find new ones. So I'm actually a week behind now.
Isn't 9 back?
Sort of.
Like I thought, I've been using 9.
What was the last time I used that? That was like months ago that I used it last. But
Yeah, there's been a whole bunch of copycats. Like they'll use all their art assets and everything, but they're not the same company.
Well, it's probably not gonna be because
the one that I used last had the same functionality though. Like it
Yeah.
had the same archive and it had the same layout and it had the same search functions, and so I was like, well, it's back again. As near it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, they've gone again now for the moment. They might come back. They might have to go looking for new ones again, or I might have to just put up with incessant ads on Crunchyroll.
no, there will always be another option.
Well, until Crunchyroll buys it out.
I won't tolerate Crunchyroll. I'm not going to do it, main.
They bought Funimation and they made it worse. How dare you? Funimation was so good. Their service. They had it figured out.
It was okay for a while, and then they got money.
And then they got money.
And then they were just as bad as Crunchyroll, and then they were functionally Crunchyroll, and then they were literally Crunchyroll.
All right, that boss fight took a lot longer than it probably should have.
Did you fight?
That was. I think that was Crownless, actually.
Why are you obsessed with fighting Crownless?
Yeah,
It was there.
Yeah, who needs it though?
Yeah,
Nobody.
mostly it was there, and I just fought it because it was there.
If you can beat that, you can beat Inferno Rider. So go beat up Inferno Rider.
Yeah, you gotta find where Inferno Rider is.
I almost claimed Impermanence Heron drops.
Yeah.
Instead of spawning him again. I got all my juice. I need to summon him quick.
If I teleport to Inferno Rider, is it going to drop me directly into the battle?
Yes.
Oh joy!
Only if you've discovered him already. Do you do that quest and get the point?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you get that as part of the story, or as the part of the turn the flames off story. Which honestly, the kind of the climax of that, where you beat up Inferno Rider and then use Inferno Rider to climb up that tower, is kind of fun.
I thought it was well executed considering it's a 1.0 quest.
Yeah. Like, yeah, let's just ride up this tower on a flaming motorcycle. Why not? And punch whatever that thing was in the face. I honestly forget what entirely that thing was.
Just go.
Alright, so I'm going to go punch Inferno Rider. What other games did I play this week? Still kept it fairly light. I want to get back, and I think I want to play some more Grim Dawn. It's been a long time since I played Grim Dawn. Throw some mods on and away we go. Actually, yeah, that's about it. But this week, very, very light. Yeah. Yeah, still, of course, played a little bit more Mega Bonk. That game is just a fun time killer. The Vampire Survivors clones, though, there's like 1 million of them at this point, so it gets hard to figure out which ones of them you should play and which ones you should just not bother with. And so far, we have probably Vampire Survivors, the original, Hollow Cure, and Mega Bonk. Play those 3. There you go. So yeah, that's it for my week. It's just been not one of those weeks. Although I might be in the market for a new GPU soon, so that's going to be interesting.
Luck with
You're
that
gonna
right now.
spare $4,000 burning a hole in your back pocket.
No, not that much. Thankfully, I'm not going to go right up to the top of the line because I don't have $4,000 burning a hole
It
in my
doesn't
pocket.
seem like all that long ago that you replaced your last one.
It's 4-ish years, nearly 5 years, I think, at this point.
Possibly I am merely getting old.
Also that. No, it's actually the GPU in my parents' computer that's decided to die at this point.
I just want
So
to.
you're going to offload your old one?
I will give them the 6700 that I'm currently running. They can use that, and I will get something bigger and beefier that plays nicer with VR.
Stuck.
Stuck.
Oh, I'm good.
Yep. Okay. Because yeah, the 6700 it works fine with most VR applications, but you do things like you go Skyrim VR and start loading up mods up to the eyeballs, which is the correct way to play Skyrim VR, and it starts to chug. It doesn't handle it so good. And yeah, you don't want frame rate dips while in VR. That really kind of takes you out of it, and it's a quick way to get to vomit. So yeah, it's a matter of going out and seeing what's out there at the moment. But that said, I did also had a look at what RAM prices are like at the moment, and that was a mistake.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah,
Be that way, Mr. Stancil.
because yeah, the other option for computer upgrades would be, upgrade the processor, and stay with the AM4 port, and you go as high as I can on that, or go up to an AM5, which revolves around getting a new motherboard with DDR5 RAM and all of that goodness, which is a pain in the neck. Like, worth it, but it's a pain in the neck. But yeah, the cost of RAM at the moment, just no.
I just want to take a minute to point out that on a Havoc-resistant enemy, False Chisa is doing 67,000 non-crits.
You like the stupid numbers?
He's a healer, by the way.
All right, I'm gonna go punch the flaming motorcycle man.
Isn't
Oh, I'm getting
everybody
it.
lavish absurd upgrades on their waifu when they find her?
Yes.
That's normal, isn't it?
Yes. Eat with that, I gotta do this. It's still not doing very much because I didn't put any frazzle on it beforehand.
You deliberately missed with your ult.
No, that was me turning my mode on. Oh, you meant Zaniel? Yeah. So of course I deliberately missed with that crap. I want that back. All right. So, yeah, PC prices right now, and especially RAM and GPUs. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
GPUs.
ask me if it's, should I buy RAM when the stock that's in the retail stores is still cheap because it's going to be expensive? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't really have context because I play mainly gacha games. So, what is the absolute value of doing an upgrade right now anyway? I mean,
It's going to be.
What do you need it for? Unless you are trying to do next gen VR, like you just don't need much power. Because what are you going to do with it? Play Call of Duty?
Yeah,
Call of Duty.
your current. I guess it depends on the person and just how outdated their rig is. But if you've got anything in the last 6 years, the need to upgrade if you're not doing something really heavy like VR just ain't there.
Yeah. Like the system I got at the moment was actually upgraded fairly on the cheap. At the time, GPUs were ridiculously expensive because crypto farming was all the rage. But 5500 processor Ryzen 5 and a 6700 XT GPU, and that services like 99% of everything, really. I can run everything at mostly top graphics. Sometimes I need to turn it down one step, but that's it. Unless, of course, you're going to go hardcore sweaty and you want like 60 to 80 FPS on everything. You're not going to necessarily get that, but
Like,
it's a serviceable system.
like the only game that we play, and it won't help much because it's mostly on the game, is the game's fault being poorly optimized, would be like Monster Hunter. That would
Oh,
need
yeah,
it.
Monster Hunter, even the best hardware. Actually, in some cases, better hardware seems to be a detriment to Monster Hunter. Because they kind of made a mess of it.
Yeah, but everything, aside from the VR stuff, everything else we play is relatively light.
Yeah, the VR is the kind of the deciding factor on whether or not to upgrade or not.
Yeah, like,
Ooh, Blue Inferno Rider. That's not a bad roll. Right from the get-go.
wait, you
You
got
got the blue one.
You got the shiny
I've
one.
never seen the blue one.
No, Blue Rarity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
not the shiny one.
there's a special coloration for him.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
There are shinies of all the echoes, or most of the echoes.
No, a lot of them, not all of them. A lot of them do. Some of them are rewarded for various events and quests and things. Other ones you just have to encounter in the wild.
And some of them are both. As I found out when I bought one from an event that I already had.
Also, oh, that is rude. Ah, run away. Opened the treasure box and then immediately had a flaming motorcycle respawn on my face.
That will happen.
Yeah.
It do be that way.
Run away over here for a moment. So yeah, I'm running a few tests at the moment, seeing if it's actually the GPU in that other computer that's broken, and if it is, then yeah, I'll be doing an upgrade.
How much do your parents need gas for?
Not that much.
Like, your dad ain't like a super nerd that plays Battlefield all the time, is he?
Oh no, he wouldn't know where to begin with Battlefield. Hell, I don't know where to begin with Battlefield.
Well, I don't know how much power would you need for something like Train Simulator. Who even knows?
Train Simulator is girthy on the power.
I've seen some pretty extreme Train Simulator setups, even growing up.
Yeah, or you get the ones who build the replica train cockpit in their game room. They're kind of insane. So yeah, he doesn't need that much beef. I think the beefiest game he currently is playing is probably Surviving Mars Remaster, which isn't necessarily graphically demanding. It's just badly optimized because Paradox. I love your games, Paradox, but your QA team needs to exist. Also, never forget City Skylines 2. Why? So yeah, GPUs, as long as you're not going for like top of the range at the moment, like your 50 series anything or your 9080s.
Even your 40s right now are gonna take a chunk out of your wallet.
Yeah, but if you take one step down and go for like instead of a 4080, you go for a 4060 or the equivalent AMD equivalent, it's a notable step down.
Like, you can honestly probably get away with most modern gaming with a 3060, 3070.
A lot of games are built around 3060s, 3080s at the moment.
I only have a 3070 and it's fine.
Yeah,
I
I can't.
don't really see why I don't need more than that.
Well, the 40 series from Nvidia is largely a complete waste of time.
It's a scam, that's what it is.
Yes.
Not even pretending not to be a scam.
So don't bother with the 40 series, really. Culus above me somewhere, and it's up on the motorcycle.
This bird must be wishing it didn't get up in the morning at this point.
Are you bullying the bird?
We are chain murdering impermanence heron to farm his echo. I don't know who's going to use his Echo, but it's listed as the thing to get on a whole lot of characters.
Most sub DPSs can use Impermanence here, and either as their main one or as an alternate.
Random Rockman, go away! I'm trying to solve a puzzle.
You are a giant death chicken. You wake up,
Yeah.
and two tiny little girls are dropping all kinds of light balls on your head.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, guess I'll let you guys know how which way I ultimately go with the computer upgrades, because I was tossing up whether I do the GPU upgrade or the CPU upgrade, just to better accommodate the VR stuff. So yeah, I guess that's
GPU
the decision being made for me.
GPU is usually going to be the bottleneck point for VR.
Usually, yes.
Just because it has to render
Depending on who coded it, because there are a few games where that's not really the case.
Yeah, I say usually with a big old asterisk, because as with everything these days, you never know.
I mean, I say that largely because there's a lot more ghetto bullshit going on in the VR space than in like AAA, for instance.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't want to claim.
Game says you want to claim. Yeah, VR is still very much in the experimental phase. It's kind of like anything goes at the moment. So, and that includes cowboy coding.
AI coding.
Ugh. Yeah. Also, incidentally, AI is the reason why RAM is so expensive at the moment.
Yep. Every government is incentivizing development of AI in their country, so there are kickbacks if you just build an enormous AI data center.
Mm-hmm.
People do anything for a tax break.
Yep.
And that means buying up. I think it's something like 40% of the RAM out there just got hoovered up.
Yep. Basically, all the commercial market's gone, and now they're onto the consumer market. And that ain't going to last long. So yeah, GPU might be my my big buy myself something stupid this year. Last year was the VR headset, so it works.
Get an accessory for the VR headset called the GPU.
Called the GPU, yeah.
I might relook at the VR thing when Steam's offering comes out. We'll see how it goes.
I'm hoping that Steam dipping their toes back into it will
revitalize the space a bit.
Yeah, and then
It's been a little bit stagnant lately, yeah.
Because the Quest has been so dominant and nobody wants to develop for Meta.
Because Meta is
if Steam can put their competitor product out for less than 500, when the Meta Quest 3 is like 300, that would be a game changer for developability.
Oh yeah. If Steam's headset comes out at a good price point, I will happily replace the Quest 3 with the Steam headset when it dies.
Yeah, I've invested a whole lot into accessories to make the thing workable at this point.
Yeah, but the fact that Steam's going to work wirelessly in a completely closed system right out of the box is such a big pull.
Yeah, instead of needing to open up the Abo app and go, okay, what kind of dumb stuff do we have to do to make this work?
I just don't want to think about having to fiddle around with the routers. Like, I can't remember the password to my router, so I need to never have to change anything.
Because you live alone, you'll probably get away with it without worrying about it too much.
Well, I mean, there's another person living on the other side of the wall, so...
What happened to Chicken that time?
Wi-Fi?
No, but there's a lot of signals bouncing about inside my building.
Ah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe. It
should be
not.
fine. I would expect it to be fine. However, you never know.
You never know. But yeah, like I said, with Steam working, it's just out of the box. Here's our unique network. It's going to all plug in together. You don't need to worry about it. It just goes. is a flex.
Yeah, and for the average consumer, that's going to be a new novelty, being able to play PC games wirelessly with the dongle, because it's just too much work for the layman to do the retarded router thing I did. Like I couldn't do it without Abo already going insane and figuring it out for me. Because it's not as simple as just set up a dummy router. You need a very specific one with a very specific type of firmware and do all kinds of weird ghetto crap. It's the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah, I was able to get away without doing any of that because I guess the router I have is just good enough to run it.
Yeah, the router for my house is on a different
times.
floor.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's if I had to do that, then that would be just a gigantic headache, and I don't want it. All right, so that's my week, I guess. Next week is going to be I bought something big and expensive, potentially.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Like I said, GPUs aren't too bad. I think I can get a 9060 XT for $600 dues, which isn't too bad. Considering I paid for the 6700 XT, I paid I think $800 for that back in the time at the day.
Turn for a walk.
But again, that was back when crypto farming was all the rage.
Oh, taking Vol for a walk.
Boy. All right, Vol, did you have a week?
Not really. So let's see. I'm going to move away. Aristeal can farm the heron on his own if he still needs more herons somehow.
I don't. I'm just doing something. Push buttons.
You'll be fine. You've got
Fine.
you'll be fine. Oh, but you're not a healer, are you? Anyway, let's see. Let me think. So this week, because this week was freaking rough, and it's just going to get rougher and rougher until the end of the year, probably, and then not get better because the higher ups are the higher ups, and they will not allow me to hire people. So,
because that costs money.
Yeah, you have to have employees to do work, and I shouldn't need to explain this, but apparently, anyway, anybody who's ever worked Corpo will know what it's like. Let's just go down the list because, in busy weeks where you're working 11-hour shifts every day, it's sort of gotcha or nothing. Black Hive's not doing much this week. There was like a mini story that they release, usually like 1 or 2 chapter mini stories once in a while, which is just like a fun little, a quick read sort of thing. But there's nothing much going on properly. It's just the end of the summer event. Summer event we're coming to an end this week, and then there'll be a new event probably Wednesday, I would say. But yeah, not much to report on that front. Genshin, also not much to report. We're in that one sort of weird week after the previews, but before the new patch is deployed. And honestly, I feel kind of apprehensive about Genshin generally at the moment because the big blemish called Miliastra Wonderland is sort of hovering over everything, and I'm like, how much is this affecting things? Because as far as I can tell, we're not expected to get any more exploration areas until like 3.4 or something. And that means that this already content light patch is going to continue to be followed by another content light patch and so on. But concerned about that. Don't have any interest in rolling for Durin. So it's just going to be a saving patch. I'm not a Verisa aficionado like Aristeal, so there's not any like side B options for me either. It's just it's going to be a dead patch for me pretty much. I'll play the story and then that'll be it. They're rehashing things for the most part. It's a little bit concerning. The pull count is way down on this patch, and it looks like it's be down on the next patch. I gave a rather sort of unnecessarily scathing commentary on Miliastra Wonderland, despite the fact that I haven't touched it. I said basically that I have zero interest in this. I'm never going to touch it. I wish you would just put your resources somewhere else. Not because I expect them to do so, but because I'm just sort of unhappy that it exists if it's impinging in any way on the rest of the experience. Like, if they wanted Roblox, they should have just released Roblox. They shouldn't have grafted it onto another game where I don't really want it to be there.
Even if all the fantasies are true about Miliestra Wonderland and it totally not eaten dev time and is a totally separate dev team and they have magically found a way to have its code isolated from the rest of the game, it's still eaten 12 gigabytes of space on my hard drive?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want it. I'm not interested in it. I want it to go away. All it's going to do is bring a bunch of useless people into the quote community unquote, which is already one of the worst communities in existence, probably surpassed only by the Undertale community and the Dingle Rumpus community. Those are the only ones that I've seen that are actually genuinely more toxic than the Hoyo community. But
they're in fine company.
But yeah, I have no interest in it. I just want it to go away. I want things to go back to the way they were. Yeah, because all the Hoyo games have big issues right now of their own that need to be addressed in various ways. And so just, flailing away resources on a game for girls that is probably going to print money. Not great from the perspective of an enthusiast for another IP within that context. But
that's why we're zooming around in Wuwa.
These things too typically print money because that particular type of gamer tends to be even easier to part from their money than your typical gacha whale, who is already quite easy to part with their money, to get them to part with their money. So it's probably going to make money for them. But then again, I don't get the vibe like it's got very much momentum because it was released in such a shambolic state. And it was released to a population of people like... I don't know if there's actually like a market for it, because if it was released as a standalone product and marketed as a standalone product to its own audience in its own way, maybe there's room for it. But it seems kind of weird to me to graft it onto Genshin, because there are roughly two classes of Genshin players. Because people who play it like me, where they're interested in the mechanics, but maybe not that much. Like, most Genshin players are either optimization autists or completely cluelessly incompetent, and there's not really much middle ground. And people who are cluelessly incompetent have got plenty of content already. Like, they're being cluelessly incompetent at Genshin. They're not going to use up Genshin and want to create their own content. And the people who are like optimization enthusiasts, they're going to be busy doing optimization type stuff. They're going to be busy trying to get 10-second clears on Stygian Onslaught. Like, they're not going to be interested in dressing up a mechanically useless character. That's not the game for them. So yeah, I don't know how well it's going to do, because I think that the audience playing Genshin already have got things that they like doing in Genshin, rather than, hey, I got credit for the co-op kill even though I was nowhere near.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. If I just go around and bop these while you're talking, will we get credit?
Well, at any rate, yeah, so I think Miliastra Wonderland is a pile of garbage and I don't care about it. But there probably are people that do. Though, I don't think I've ever met any of them.
I
don't even like, I'm on the Twitter and I'm plugged into, to my chagrin, Hoyo Twitter. Like, I get Hoyo Twitter spewed across my timeline daily. Nobody is talking about Miliastra Wonderland. Nobody. 0 people. They're talking about all kinds of other disgusting and frivolous things.
Like
as
feet.
I have, like feet a lot of the time. But, like I've linked to Ari and Fern some of the the discourse about the new Wuwa characters, and the Hoyo fandom is like that but worse. And yet still nobody gives a toss about Millie Astro Wonderland at all.
The only bit I saw about it was on release week. I saw people complaining about it, and I saw stuff that I'm almost convinced are copium posts from people that did like it on YouTube, saying that it's totally popular in the East, and we just don't like it over here because we already have Roblox.
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it is. So you can't get Roblox in China, right?
Yeah, it's got
Not in China, no.
yeah, and that's where I would think the market for this would be is you can't have Roblox in China because it's not owned by the Chinese, and there's no way the
Pedophiles
CCP
have to go somewhere else.
yeah, there's no way the CCP would allow user-generated content that isn't under their thumb.
Yeah, because you don't want like Tiananmen Square modeled in Roblox if you're the CCP.
Oh, it would happen.
It would happen immediately. It would happen preemptively. It would happen so fast. But but yeah, it's maybe it is popular there, and you know, Hoyo always has given pride of place to the Chinese community above everything else, always. Which is why people always try and move the needle in the Chinese forums if they really want something done, and they don't feel like they've got the momentum in the West to do it. So yeah. You know, every time you dodge, I can actually hear the dodge sound effect over here. That's the only sound effect here.
Yeah, I'm like way the fudge across the map.
Yeah, but I think it's actually telling me that you're dodging.
You get that, Chivo?
Dust to dust. Anyway, so yeah, it's I've heard actually that there is a range cap on items and things, but it's quite long. It's something like 2,500 meters or something like that. But yeah, it's. I think that it's an experiment I wish never happened, and I wished it never happened back when they announced it, and I still continue to wish it never happened because there is a downturn in the number of pulls per patch, and the vibe I get is that it's just due to spreading development resources so thinly. They are recruiting for projects that are as yet unannounced still at Hoyo.
Yeah.
And they've announced so many projects.
Even in the dream scenario for them, where all these dev teams are totally isolated and not chewing into each other's resources, there's a point where you can only manage so much crap.
Anyway, that's how I'm spinning Genshin out from a week where no Genshin happened. I really basically, with all of the Hoyo gachas in particular, but Wuwa too also to some extent, just need to scrub my inventory. That's what I desperately need. My inventory's full in all of them. Anyway, moving on to Star Rail again. Star Rail is another dead patch situation, and for them to be in a dead patch situation so early in the patch is kind of rough. I suppose the interesting thing about it is that the issue continues to roll on with the political tensions between Japan and China, and it's kind of annoying because it's such a stupid thing on account of it was just sort of like it probably was a deliberate provocation from the Japanese Prime Minister, because the Japanese Prime Minister, she's just kind of a firebrand. She likes to wind people up. She likes to be controversial. That's just the way she operates. But it also could have just been sloppy wording. That's also entirely possible. Because everything, when it comes to military matters in Japan, everything has to be sort of behind at least a veneer of code, because Japan's theoretically not allowed a military for any purpose other than self-defense. But yeah, so that issue has rolled on. The rumors coming out now saying that there's going to be up to 8 weeks delay, like more than a patch cycle's worth of delay to completely re-engineer the entirety of the next chapter of Star Rail, because the entire thing was supposed to be in a Japanese setting, and now that's not a thing. And it's definitely serious business over there, because Xi Jinping is engaging in his usual toddler tantrum politics that he likes so much. I mean, he can do it. He's got the power. He's in charge. But it doesn't look good to anybody outside the country, maybe he enjoys wielding power in this way, but it just makes him look like a toddler throwing a tantrum because basically the authorities have been causing a lot of problems. Like, they cancelled Ayumi Hamasaki's concert. I don't know, maybe nobody grew up in the 90s, 2000s and knows who Ayumi Hamasaki is, but that's sort of like banning Michael Jackson from your character, your country. Like, no, you don't do that. They're too big. But they had spent a lot of time setting up this massive concert. And like, it's sort of hard to express how big she is if you don't know who she is. But like, I have like dozens of her CDs from my high school days because she was like the pop sensation. But they just cancelled it. And I think in the end, she went ahead and she just had her concert anyway. She performed her entire concert in an empty auditorium out of sheer stubbornness and recorded it basically for her fans so that at least they had something. But this has been happening to multiple Japanese personalities in China. That they'd, like, in one case, it was practically the cartoon scenario of the crook coming from off stage and yanking the performer off, type of thing.
Yep.
Like the security came up during one singer's performance and just escorted them off the stage in the middle of the performance. Because this is just how Xi Jinping does politics. Like, just lashes out randomly when he feels like he's insulted. This is honestly, it's to a certain extent, it's a national complex as well. And to a certain extent, this is Britain's fault as well. The Opium Wars left a mark and a half, and the dignity of the Chinese people has never really recovered from it. They're still butthurt, and to a certain extent, understandably so. But this is just sort of unproductive bullshit at this point. Like, cancelling these concerts that your people want to go to just because you've got the power to do it is just petty. But that is how he does business, and he has all the power, and he will have you killed if you disagree. So, this sort of thing does percolate down the chain. So I can understand why Hoyo is concerned, probably because they have so much dealings with Japan, so much dealings with the US. They're probably permanently on a short list of people who need to have an eye kept on them to make sure they don't become a subversive. And announcing a massive expansion to one of your biggest earning titles, themed entirely after a country that you are now sort of on the brink of war with, is not going to be a good look for them. So I can sort of see why they're playing their cards close to their chest on this. But the rumours are saying, like, the conservative rumours are saying 3 weeks delay. The less conservative rumours are saying up to 8 weeks delay, simply because there's so much material that needs to be revamped in order to make it not overtly a Japanese setting. Or at least in such a way as to be able to get away with it. But, like, it's going to be shambolic. Like, I can't imagine how they could clean this up well enough in the time frame they have available. Like, the coders and the artists are going to be on the brink of suicide at this point. The amount of work that has to be combed through carefully to make sure it can pass the scrutiny of the political commissars is going to be off the chain. So, yeah, I expect that we're going to see, like, you know, what was it, like 200-day Ayaka banner type of scenario?
Yeah, it
It's
was.
like to play out.
Yikes.
What was the reason for that when it happened?
I don't remember.
We weren't playing at the
But,
time, so.
But yeah, it's going to be rough for them. I don't know how they're going to stay the course. And they can't really even come out and explain it either, because there's too much chance of them treading on the wrong toes. They have to be so careful. Because, like I said, this is just tantrum politics, right? All that they have to do is do something that makes the CCP feel like it's being snubbed, and it'll be over for them. They don't care. They just want to lash out. So, yeah, it's a bit of a grim situation there. If they had been launching, if it was M4S that was coming out, it wouldn't have done a damn thing. Nobody would care. But unfortunately, it's not. It was Bensai Tengoku coming up. But yeah, so that's going to be treading water for the time being. All of the leakers have basically cancelled everything that they were saying, and the people who were drawing up the schedules of the expected deployment of things based on past performance, they've cancelled all of that, etc., etc. None of that's happening anymore. Everybody's just waiting with bated breath for some kind of announcement to try and understand what's going to be happening going forward, because this is like, a year's worth of content that is now being completely kicked in the nuts. So nobody knows where it's going to go from here. I mean, it's not the next patch. The next patch will probably roll forward as normal, but even that's probably going to be affected because the sheer number of resources that will have to be diverted in order to make sure that 4.x doesn't fall completely flat. But I mean, it's probably going to end up being Inazuma at best.
Blah.
Because it's just too much to be done. Unless China pulls their head in and decides, okay, we've had our tantrum, it's over, now we're going to go back to normal, and somehow manages to signal that it's okay for everybody else to go back to normal as well, then things are going to be... Yeah, I don't know what gamble internally Hoyo will make, whether they'll just go full retard trying to change everything to, a Chinese setting or something instead of a Japanese one or something like that, or whether they'll just... Or if we're really unlucky, they might 4Kidsify everything.
That would be kind of funny, actually.
Eat your cheeseburgers,
or
Apollo.
whether they're
Yes.
just going to position themselves for it and hope that things cool down enough that they can just flip a switch and go back to the regular plan. I don't know. But yeah, I was pretty shocked when I heard that they cancelled an AU concert, because that's going loud, basically. That's throwing a celebrity out. So yeah, it's a bit of a rough situation there. Moving on from Star Rail then, since that was basically all the commentary to be had on it. Well, I guess we'll go to Wuwa next, since ZZZ is sort of a bigger topic this week to some extent. Wuwa, I haven't done anything. Mainly the discussion around Wuwa this week has been in regards to the new characters. So they've formally announced the next two new characters, a Pistol Spectro and a Broadblade Fusion. The rumors have given various commentary on them in the past. The weapon and element of each of them had been rumored previously, and those rumors have turned out to be correct. So it remains to be seen which other parts of the rumors will also turn out to be correct. But at present, the extant rumors were that the Fusion Broadblade one would be the much desired Fusion support, because Fusion is an attribute for which mono element teams exist, and there's no support. Like, mono element is strongly indicated for them, but there's not supported by the presence of an appropriate support for it. So yeah, it's been a bit of a problem for people who want to run that team, and it looks like Mornai, or however you pronounce her name, is going to be that character. The other character, Linai, is rumored to be a liberation damage support, a sub DPS liberation damage support. Which, I mean, provided that I don't get too many Mavwika vibes off of her animations, because I don't like Mavwika's combat feel at all, and Linai is also a motorcycle associated character. If they go that route, I'll be sort of annoyed. But the idea of being able to buff Cheese's liberation damage even further amuses me, because playing a healer on field as a DPS is entertaining. So keeping an eye on that one. But Morna is prettier, so I'll probably roll her anyway. So, but yeah, don't have much else to say about that. The fifth topic on the ledger is ZZZ. I have played the story. That's all I've done. So I don't know how Ari wants to tackle it.
We can do it at the end of my week. As a big topic because I'm still need to sort a few thunks out about it. I'll do that as we go
Right.
through the rest of my week.
Right. Well, I don't really have anything much else to say then because, yeah, I just didn't have that much free time this week, and what remains that I haven't talked about is just ZZZ stuff. So, and the only thing I did was the main story. I haven't had time to touch anything else.
All right. Okay. We'll just jump right into my week then. We do have an email after my week, so. So non-CZZ Hoyo was Genshin's not doing anything, total farm mode. Star Rail, don't even know what I'm farming for at this point. I'm just grabbing random stuff and sticking my face back in the Sacerdos mines. Genshin.
You were trying to get ropes, man.
Oh right, I was trying to get ropes. I got a speed rope, but the monkey's paw, it curled.
It to be that way, Mr. Stancil.
It got speed, and that was it. So there was that. Yeah, Star Rail not looking optimistic about the upcoming patch, or the upcoming patch actually. Only the ending will probably be affected. But yeah, not looking good if the rumors turn out to be true. Genshin, Barisa banner's coming up. I'm skipping the Durin banner. I've skipped the last two banners, so I have a goodly amount of primos and fates built up. In fact, well, more than last two banners. I've skipped since Lauma came out. Pulled anything. And I'll be skipping Durin as well. And so I'm thinking of trying to get Barisa C1 because when we do play multiplayer there, it solves a problem that comes up in multiplayer a lot. And that's if you get desynced, because you only get mask mode every other skill dash. It doesn't punish you as hard if you wind up trying to do stuff on your off dash, like, and it gives you a bigger gas tank to play with for world exploration. It's mostly quality of life junk like that. It does give her a bit of a damage boost. It's like 20% on her plunge attack when it's on mask. But it's just an okay constellation. But I play the character so dang much that just the bigger gas tank alone would probably be enough. So that's where I'm looking at in Genshin. It's got some other quality of life feature to it too. It's a constellation with a lot of little stuff in it. And yeah, so that's all I'm really looking at in Genshin. Main story's going fine in Genshin so far. I'm interested to see where they go with that. Star Rail, I could not have lower enthusiasm after hearing all the rumors. I just do after this current patch. I don't have any faith that Hoyo will be able to salvage it. Like, I am expecting it to be a total train wreck. ZZZ we'll get to in a minute. Hoyo or Wuwa. So as you can see, I've continued to do Phoebe things. But the big thing this week was it was Thanksgiving week for me, which means there wasn't much going on Wednesday. Thursday I had off, and Friday I functionally had off. I went in to do some housekeeping.
Does anybody go back to work on Friday?
Almost nobody. I went in and did some housekeeping stuff, made sure payroll was going out, and made sure the bills were all paid and all the billing was out, and basically all the regular finance crap you got to do for running a small business. And then just came back home after I checked the email and the phone to make sure there were no messages. And yeah, I had set my email to respond at the end of Wednesday to say I'll be out of the office until Monday.
It's Thanksgiving weekend. What's wrong with you?
Like, leave me alone. So I took that time to go through and do all the permanent events in Wuwa. And I made a chart. Hang on, let me get the chart.
Oh no.
It's not an oh no chart. It is a Phoebe chart. I'll just copy the link from the mobile games thread and dump it in live show chat. That'll be easier because Discord's acting funny for me. So yeah, once that finally loads, because for some reason Discord's text channels will do this with me occasionally. Just images will get stuck and hung. And
yeah, I don't think that's a you problem. I think that's just a Discord
yeah,
problem.
it's a Discord problem. I'm not sure why, but it do be like that, Mr. Stancil. I'll let that attempt to post itself. I don't know if y'all can see it in the live show chat. But we have on this chart we have actually can I do this? I can show the There we go. There we go. Okay. That's the chart. So on this chart we have Happy Phoebe, Normal Phoebe, and Pinchy Cheek Phoebe. Pinchy Cheek Phoebe means it was not fun. Normal Phoebe means it was okay. It was not exceptionally bad, but not exceptionally good. And Happy Phoebe means it was fun for the events. So we'll start with the Happy Phoebes, because we're going to be moving towards ZZ after this. So get the Happy out now. Phantasma Dreamscape, or whatever it's called. The second event in the permanent events. The Farlova event.
And no spoilers, haven't touched it.
It's not. There's zero story, none. Not even an option to do any.
Okay. Just tell me that it's not another card game, and I'll be fine.
No, it's a resource. It's a resource management / grid based mom game, basically. But it's a lot of fun. I liked it. So there's not a whole lot to describe about this. It's all in the nuance of the rules, and figuring out what strats work and using the strats it recommends for every stage, and then taking those further, and just trying to rack up high scores and get all the rewards. Simple, easy. Turn on a podcast. Takes a little bit, but it's not too out there. This one I did not do this week. I've done it before, but I liked it a lot when I did, and that's Banners Never Fall. The area immediately outside Septimon City has a little event for exploring it, where there's combat areas, has its own leveling system, and its own boss fights, and it's just
multiplayer.
It should have been multiplayer, but it was a way to make the lawn mowing of that area more interesting and fun, and give you some more tangible objectives to push you to keep mowing, which I liked a lot. And
I feel like, even though it's not actually true, I feel like it feels better to farm your stars and your tidal residuum and that from the gladiators in that area afterwards.
Yeah,
because you get big chunks instead of just one.
Yeah. So that's those are the two events I like the most. The normal Phoebes, Tales of the Isles, starting from the bottom. This is just lawn mowing assistance and bonus rewards. That's it. Not a whole lot going on there. You just get rewards for lawn mowing Renacita. Old Man in the Sea. This is functionally Phoebe's character story. You go on a fishing trip. Well, the other half of her character story, because the exploration quest is her actual character story. But you go on a fishing trip with Phoebe. We've talked about it before. You do fishing things. There's inventory management. It is not very demanding of you, but it does take a long time.
There are a bunch of side quests that have no ending.
Yeah, I have a ton of side quests up there to go do still. Next up is the anniversary event. Most of the stuff I liked in this was story related, so I won't spoil that. The gameplay is whatever. It does let you demo pretty much every character from 2.4 and before, though. It's a good place to demo those and just play around with them in a closed environment. But it revolves around the use of the cubes in combat. And it will revolve more and more around the jelly cubes as that time goes on.
For some reason, I remember, I don't know the reason, but I remember for some reason people were really, really mad about this event when it came out.
Yeah.
Like they were in a froth over how much they hated it.
I do not know why. It's not the worst event in the world. It's not good either, but it's just okay. Maybe they've done something
I
for
think
making it permanent that eased it back.
I think that it was. I think it was just because it was an anniversary event, and they didn't. I don't know, get 5 free 5 stars or something. I don't know. You know how gacha communities are.
That sounds about right, honestly.
Yeah, it was a fine event for going through play. It has a really cute cutscene at the end. It's like the cutest cutscene for the anniversary cutscene at the end. Little I won't spoil that for people that haven't done it, but it is absolutely adorable. I may post it in live show chat and I'll click on it because I'm pretty sure the thumb. And it has female and male rover versions of the cutscene in the same video because Wu was nice and does that. The Your Summer event is Chicona's story, character story. That's literally all it is. The event portion of it is so minor that it's just wait a few extra days after you finish it and go select different dialogue trees in the still frame part of the story, and it just lets you go in the menu and jump to that point. Otherwise, it's just Chicona's character story, and it's fine. A little bit better than Rushia's, but definitely above the Honglong stuff. Not as good as some of the better Renacita ones, though. The other normal Phoebe is Title Defense Simulator. The biggest thing going against this one is how long it takes. And the gameplay wears itself thin, but it fails out right before it gets to Pinchy Cheek mode. So we stay normal Phoebe on this one. And this is just Orcs Must Die 2 with no story. Wuwa edition. if you played that game, that's what this is. It's a pseudo 3D tower defense. Run around, place your traps. You can select your weapon that you use, either a rapid fire shooter. You eventually unlock like a charge shot, and then a repulsor blast. You can pick which one of those you want to take, or what combination of those you want to take, and you try and make an impregnable defense. And the answer to everything in the late game is the freeze jet from the ceiling. Just to save you some brain work. And now for the Pinchy Cheeks. Somnian Labyrinth. Just not a very engaging event.
How old is it? When was it deployed?
I think it's the first permanent event. So I don't know the actual patch it came out, though. Let's see. Somnium.
I've done most of Somnium Labyrinth. I can't say I enjoyed it very much. It's just kind of a bit weird. Like, I sort of get what they're going for, and they're setting up another sort of sub-meta arc that's going to take place throughout the rest of the game. But
yeah, the
most of the sort of side activities are kind of weird. Like, the combat is weird, and I don't really like it. And the racing thing is weird, and I don't really like it.
Yeah, there's just a little bit too much jank there. The kitty paw prints will be prevalent in Renacita, so get used to those. They are your dash nodes for the Renacita, or for the Renacita half of where we're at. 1.4 is when it came out, by the way, in November of 2024.
Well, it does have Changli in it, so
yeah. So that event is not very good. Most of it's early jank, and you can see part of it being, early prototyping for the weekly Dreamscape challenge we had to get 6,000 points to unlock once you get to Renacita, which is effectively our simulated universe equivalent. Next up, we have Dreaming Deep. I'm not gonna lie, I started story skipping this one.
I just touched it.
I did not care. I hated the gameplay in this so much that I didn't care about the story going on anymore and just started story skipping. And it takes fucking ever. It is the longest of the permanent events by a factor of 5. Its closest competitor. And some of these can already go for pretty long in terms of active gameplay time. And it is the most boring combination of Bang Boo TV and flubbing simulated universe that you've ever seen in your life.
That sounds like hell.
It is.
Yeah.
The gameplay portion of this is awful. Some of the stories have potential, but it's draped in this confusing mess of it being in a dreamscape. So you're not actually able to parse it very easily unless you're really paying attention. It's not a casual read. And at the end of the bit, I just started skipping. Because not only do you have to do it by playing through it and getting all the rewards and stuff, you have to play through each level multiple times to get multiple endings. Like this is just a colossal time sink. I turned on My Hero Academia and got caught up on that while I was doing this because I got tired of it.
Because sometimes there's nothing better than just shonen punchy times in order to cure things.
Yeah. Well, and it has the arpeggio fault problem of its Bangbu TV mode, allowing you to overpower yourself when you really, really don't need to, but because the ability and option is there, you have to force yourself to stop. It's not infinite like arpeggio fault was, but it's still a lot. I just did not like it at all. If the gameplay hadn't been so bad, maybe I would have sat through the stories more. But after the first one, I was just like, nah, we ain't paying attention to this crap. Bailed out. The gameplay was too boring. And then we have All Out Towards the Peaks of Prestige, my least favorite event.
Wow, worse than that, huh?
Uh-huh.
Oh dear.
All Out Towards the
But
Peaks of...
you said you did this in an afternoon, except for the recurring part.
Yeah, most of it in an afternoon. But oh boy. It's just bad.
But it has your boy Timu Sephiroth.
At the very end. As a brief cameo. Probably because they were like, oh right, this guy still exists. We should probably stick him somewhere. Yeah, it's a... What I told Vol before the show was, it's like the chefs in the kitchen overcooked the event. The manager came out and was like, you can't serve this to the customers. We've got to prune some of this. And threw out half the dish. And now you have an overcooked dish that is also not enough to fill you up. And all you can do is stare at it because eating it would be death. It is.
It's a very vivid.
I can't even properly describe the gameplay mechanics because they're so convoluted. Basically, it's a card game in the vein of, like, no real good, easy example off the top of my head. But it uses a deck system similar to Slay the Spire and stuff. You pick a commander for your deck, and you pick a signature big echo for your deck. And this big echo will be automatically added to your hand when certain conditions are met, and can act as a win condition or a ringer for your side of the team. And what you do is you draw cards from the deck and you play them onto your board. And you're given 2 mana at the start of each turn. You can discard a card to get 1 mana back, or you can play it in the transform slot, which acts as a special type of discard. If it's got a transform effect, it'll give you a bonus effect. And this usually costs the mana cost of the card. And you fill your board up, and then you go into combat, and you play Bangbu Auto Chess. And then you get back to the next round, and now you probably have enough mana to modulate cards, which is, if a card says modulate, do a thing, you pay its mana cost and replace a card on the board with that new card, and you get the modulate effect. For my deck that I use, that modulate effect is almost entirely draw 2 cards. Because the entire point of the deck, the net deck that I gave up and just looked up because I did not want to sit through and noodle this crap out, is a Cantarella stall deck. And the whole point is to rush to the Spider Carbot, which does not care if you win or lose the round. All it cares about is how long it was alive on the field, and it guarantees a flat amount of true damage done to the opponent. And Cantarella's whole shtick is making you take less damage, so you intentionally lose every single round with this deck, and just focus on keeping the Carbot alive.
And then it just goes bang at the end and you win.
Yeah, and just about 2 or 3 rounds of this is usually enough to kill the opponent. And this is the most, not only is this the most efficient way to do it, it's the most effective way to do it because the AI is retarded. So so the AI will start cheating out the in the most blatant ways possible. The max health you can have at the start of a match is 30. The AI will start eventually having 60. They will start starting with 14 mana and a hand of 8 cards. Now, the Cantarella strat is so busted that this does not matter. But it is the way to deal with it and get through this event quickly. And just the cherry on top, for the last few rewards, so that you can get the little check mark in your UI, you have to raise your you have to collect little flags by doing the endless mode that you unlock at the end of it, and you can only get 5,000 of these a week to level up your dual rank. And it's going to take you like 3 or 4 extra weeks of sitting down for 30 minutes and playing Peaks of Prestige every week to finally get all the stupid rewards. I say playing.
Look forward to it. Highlight of your week.
I say playing is more like boot it up, put the carbot out, and let it autoplay. And made even worse is, at least with the new Bang Boo chess in ZZZ, they're letting you skip the combat in single player versions. You can't skip the combat in Peaks of Prestige. And the fastest you can make those stupid enemies operate is at ×2 speed. And this just like, it takes forever.
Like, having a card game based around echoes built into the game doesn't sound like a bad idea in and of itself, but it sounds like they've just done everything wrong with it.
Yeah, it's just they overcooked this one. It didn't need to go back in the oven. It needed to be sent back. Try something else.
Yeah.
So final scores are 2 fun events, 2 happy Phoebes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 normal Phoebes, and 3 pinchy cheek not fun Phoebes. And those are the Wuwa events.
The question for me is always, do I save the best ones for last, or do I save the worst ones for last?
I would, if it was me in your scenario going to do them now, I would do the worst ones first just to get them out of the way so that I only have stuff to look forward to.
Well, I've already basically done as much of Somnium Labyrinth as I can stomach. Like, I'm not going to learn how to use the characters to get the last few bits and pieces.
In your case, I might just
mode.
yeah. In your case, I might just recommend skipping Dreaming Deep. Like it is
Bad, huh?
Get the quest. Well, it takes too much time. It will eat your entirety of free time for like a whole month if you do that.
Good grief.
And that's
I might
if
just
you story
just to try and understand how it could be this bad.
Yeah, and that's if you story skip. If you don't story skip, you're going to be there for multiple months and accomplish literally nothing else in any other video game.
Was it released all at once, or was this something they trickled out over time?
It came out piecemeal, but it looks like they stopped around 2.5, 2.4 is when they stopped dripping stuff out. So it seems like this was meant to be an ongoing event mode that they just keep bolting stuff onto, and the structure's still there for them to do it if they so choose. I hope they don't. But yeah, I really don't like that game mode. So yeah, that's the Wuwa events. So it's a mixed bag, but there are a few good events in there that I really enjoyed, and there are plenty of rewards in them to help get you recovered if you are insane and decide to get three wave bans on Phoebe. Especially when we got a Karthatia banner coming up in like sooner than I'd like. So yeah, that's Wuwa pretty much. Was doing that. Did some Chivo cleanup for all the dumb achievements. There is one achievement that I figured out you simply cannot get unless you get really lucky in the simulated universe and get Inferno Rider to spawn. because he has to kill one of your resonators with a very specific attack that he only does in the story mode version of the quest. So I guess I'll just take Yoo-Hoo in there every time I go in there, and just if I happen to see Inferno Rider, whip her out to get run over. So that's other than that, the rest of it's been fine. Cleaned up the lawn mowing. There's still a whole lot of chests in Genzo to go get, but I've made everything say 100% and got all my freebie pulls from that. And yeah, that's been good. That's Wuwa. Now the elephant in the room this week. ZZZ. So the events Paul hasn't done yet. I'm not going to talk at all about Golden Bangbu, but it's more Golden Bangbu. It's not quite as charming as it was before, but you know, it's still Bangbu's being Bangbu's. So you know, it's cute. Bangbu Chess is Bangbu Auto Chess. What's odd to me about these two events, structurally for a patch, they released them almost simultaneously, and these are supposed to be the two big events this patch. It's like they.
Yeah, I sort of expected them to stagger it a bit, and I was surprised when I logged on last night and I saw that the Golden Bangbu event was already out. I didn't expect to see it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So they've got two big events running at the same time. I guess they just expect you to they're putting it out there so people can jump into it and have the
Just
whole
do it at their own pace type of thing.
yeah have the whole patch cycle to work on it, which I personally appreciate. It's just off brand for them.
Hold on, I just remembered something.
Huh?
This is a short patch.
Oh.
They are shortening it by a week. That was the rumor anyway? I don't know if it's been confirmed.
Okay. So yeah, phase 2 may be like a week shorter or something.
Yeah, they were shortening phase 2.
Okay, so that makes sense. The other positive ZZZ news, aside from those being out and able to get done, is your phone ringing, your phone ringing. Big boy, pick up your phone.
I committed one attempt at getting her, and I had to go to hard pity, and I got Soldier 11, so now I'm salty. But I need to conserve my resources for Yeshunguang, and then I'll probably try and get Dylan on the rerun, because I really, really like her as a character. Like, I enjoyed playing her in the story. I enjoyed her character. Like, she was just a all round enjoyable existence in the story for me. But the gacha did not want to cooperate with me at all.
She very much so reminds me of the little gremlin in my head that I have when I'm in the office. Whenever people start driving me nuts. Like, I've never met that gremlin or given it a full form before, but it started taking on the image of Dylan and her methods of customer service. Particularly the Dylan from the trailers, anyway. The very scary one. But yeah, the Your Phone is Linging girl is a lot of fun to play. I did scoop her, because basically the story sold me on it. I liked her character a lot in the story. She was the best part of the story whenever she was on screen. At least going through and Your Phone Linging. And yeah, she is a very fun stunner to play as well. While she spends most of her time off field, she has to do enough work on field that it feels good to play. And watching, you know, the giant rock paper scissors hands fall out of the sky to squash the opponent is a lot of fun. And she pairs really well with Yadhari, who normally has some trouble getting her ult up, by giving her the free ult. And
I'm afraid I'm just not at the RE level of just refilling on resources every time to pull every single character. I don't think I can quite stomach that. I'm not that wealthy.
I'm going to have to spend again unless Easy Shingong comes really fast, I'll probably have to throw some money at her.
Well, you had one banner already, so you're probably going to get these 3 characters in the first 5 pulls. So
Yeah, so
because you only have one band run like every 4 or 5 characters.
yeah, so we'll see how this one went.
I, on the other hand, have a bad run every single time. The only person who seems to have a worse run than me is Bibu. I watched her lose 3 50/50s back to back on Star Rail on her stream.
I didn't even think that was possible.
No, like when I say lose 3 50/50s, I mean had to go to very close to hard pity, in fact. 3 times. And by hard pity in this case I mean hard pity. I mean you've hard pitied a lost 50/50 and then you have to hard pity again. And I watched her do this 6 times in a row.
Oof.
Yeah. Just remember.
This is like this is my daily experience. This is like how I pull on the gacha. It's like it's for me.
There's a video of the English voice actors for Fufu, Grace, and Astra pulling for Fufu. And no matter how bad your luck is, you will never be in a situation, at least, where you have Grace's voice actor trying to console you because you got Grace trying to get Fufu at Hard Pity and then had to go to Hard Pity again for Fufu, and then said, "Don't worry, I'm going to cry if you get Grace's W engine." And then you lose the 50/50 at Hard Pity to Grace's W engine. And then you have Grace's voice actress sitting there going, look at this, Fufu. At least you're going to have a really, really good Grace. I think Astra's voice actress was about to kill Grace's voice actress in the middle of all that. So yeah.
Oh dear. Oh, well, still, at least you managed to beat the autistic rock. So there's something there, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't by very much. Like I still lose every 50/50 pretty much. So I won a couple of the 50/50s on my cheeses spree, but that's about the best luck that I've had in ages. I lose every 50/50 in Star Rail, lose every 50/50 in Genshin, lose every 50/50 in ZZZ, with a couple of exceptions over the course of my entire game. Like I'm well below the actual 50% mark, I think.
Nahida came to you in 40 pulls, 150/50.
Yeah, the character that I never use for any reason at all because she's bad.
It's Nahida slander. So yeah,
like, I regret pulling Nahida more than I regret pulling Klee.
So let's see here. So the big elephant in the room that's taken me a bit of time to parse is the main story in ZZZ had some hiccups this time. And I am totally disconnected from the wider world's perception of this. I haven't even seen YouTube videos on what people think. And I
haven't seen anybody talking about what I don't think anybody in the ZZZ community pays any attention to the story at all. Like I think the story is totally corollary to them. They just don't care at all. Or because, like I said, I'm plugged into Hoyo. Nobody talks about ZZZ's story. It doesn't happen. Period. End.
Yeah. So I was honestly fine with where we were going at the slow pace because I mostly care about the character stories in ZZZ. The overarching story making progress is just a bonus for me.
The reality is that there is no story in ZZZ. ZZZ's story is complete trash. They have lots of skillfully executed nothing. That's the problem with it. No story ever goes anywhere. That's been the problem to this point, and that's why the CN community was so annoyed at it, and why, and it's that indirectly why it's been shambolic this time, because everything about it shows that they completely rewrote it just for this patch, and they did it way too late.
Yeah. So when I was going through the story, I was trying to find IDs on a pattern at first because I was only looking for
super
one.
obvious. The pattern was so obvious. I saw it from within the first half hour.
Well,
it was very obvious.
I noticed a couple things later, but I didn't notice a pattern at first because I was only looking for like one thing that may connect them all. I'm like, wait a minute, these rewrites go a bit deeper, don't they?
There is one thing that connects them all.
It's
time. it's time. Time is what connects them all. Every single thing that is missing a voice, not every single, probably more like 95% of them, is referring to something that happened either immediately prior or is going to happen immediately next.
I
And
see.
everything that has its voice is something that is time agnostic or talking about something several scenes in the past or potential in the future but hasn't been executed yet. This is what you get when somebody has completely rearranged the storyboarding for a story.
Yeah.
All of the connective tissue hasn't been recorded again. All of the stuff that is just like people talking about facts is still in place because none of that changed. The factual things that changed toward the end, where they clearly rewrote the roles that certain characters played in certain scenarios, like those are missing, but that's very minor compared to what you see throughout the rest of it. Throughout the rest of it, what is clear is that they have rearranged the order and location of a whole bunch of things that took place.
Yeah, there were two things that two subjects that consistently had their voice lines regularly muted, and that was discussion of the array that in the book that you get, and Yuji Shingong's brother, whose name I will forget forever.
In Shanshan, you can make arrays do anything. Like it's just it's a magic spell of indeterminate nature.
Yeah, this particular one they go into detail about why it's significant and stuff, and how it relates to Shingong and Banyue's pass.
And I don't think that it was really the purpose of the array that was the reason it was rewritten. I think that the array and what it did was always intended. I think that the people involved, how much they knew about it and where it was all taking place and when, are the things that actually changed.
Yeah. So the other one that was consistently boofed was they clearly accelerated the role that Shingong's brother had in the story. Like they I'm not sure they meant to move him this fast.
I think he was definitely meant to be a slow burn, genuine traitor, and they tried to pull out of that nosedive right at the very end before thinking it through. How are we going to do this credibly?
Yeah, because a lot of the lines related to him that are muted are things that reflect on his character and questioning if he's really that bad. And it's just like they are pulling the plug on this storyline hard. And
I think that he either he was always going to be a real traitor or he was going to go deep undercover for at least another patch.
Yeah. And the other thing is some stuff related to Sarah was muted, and I get the feeling she was meant to have a presence for at least another patch. Because
that was one of the things that they specifically talked about in the interview, was that people were sick of having Sarah dangled in front of them without her doing anything at all ever.
Yeah,
because this has been going on since the start of the game, right? Remember, she's the advisor to the short fat guy, what's his name, and has been constantly pottering about in the background without doing a damn thing since the game came out.
Yeah, I think I don't know where they were at and what assets they have available to work with to rearrange the story, because that goes into a lot of factors in how you choose to do rewrites like this. There was a very obvious, more elegant way to do this than what they did to Sarah, which was dirty. But I did not like how they handled her exit off stage. But given the resources they have, I'm willing to cut them just the tiniest bit of slack over it, because you just got to work with what you got. And if they've got to pivot the whole story, they can't just make a Sarah boss fight from scratch. But that should be how Sarah was ushered out in an ideal world. But because we pivoted so hard and so fast, she gets the crook comes in and kind of rips her off the stage.
I think that the reason why it was done like this is because they didn't think that would be received well. I think that's what I think. Because if they had done that, then it would have been a repeat of Miasma Priest. It would have been a repeat of Isolde. It would have been a repeat of the same thing. It would just be the same. She would be doing the same thing as every lieutenant we fought before her, and if she went out the same way, I think that would be very poorly received. I don't think this is going to be better received. I think this was also a bad way of doing it, but I think just jamming her in as a boss fight at this stage would also have been bad. You'd have
Yeah.
to do something much more creative than that, I think.
Having a blatant betrayal by the eventual reveal of the creator would have worked a bit better. There's a lot of things you could have done, but you're limited.
That last scene was a complete disaster. Like, it was so obvious they didn't know what direction to do and they just wanted it to be over.
Yeah, they clearly had decided on the pivot and just pulled the crook onto the stage and yanked poor Sarah off.
I don't know that this was better than where they were going originally. Like, as somebody who has been annoyed at the fact that ZZZ's story goes nowhere and they just tell the same story every single patch, I understand and sympathize with the urge to, jolly them along a bit, but it shouldn't come at the expense of coherent storytelling. Like, this is a problem with their editing. Basically, they were trying to not do an Amphorius where they have no editor and they end up spending forever spieling out the same sort of things 5 times per patch. Like, the way that Xiaoji likes to reiterate the core storyline of whatever patch it is every time anybody takes a breather on the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they were trying to avoid that, but they did it by just sort of hacking into the story and rebuilding it rather than, just trying to plane down the rough edges. Because I don't think that this was a good way to handle it. I think that they did, as somebody who has a perspective on the story, that the execution and the character stories are worthless if they don't exist in a context. I sympathize with wanting to speed it up, but they did it very, very, very badly, and I think that this is not going to benefit them. I think that while people would have been unhappy at the pace going forward, I think that it would have not have really moved the needle in terms of their engagement unless they had like another 3 patches planned of nothing happening.
Yeah, if they just spread this out across 2 patches, the acceleration, and then ramped us a bit harder, in 12 weeks, and really kicked it into gear, then I think it would have served them a lot better just to get the Sarah story done to completion instead of just pressing the abort button.
Yeah, I think that them spinning the Sarah story out over this many chapters has been a real mistake. This is a bed they made for themselves in that sense. If they had given her some momentum, then, maybe it would have mattered, but she spent too long being like the villain that doesn't do anything. Because, like, what exactly does she do at any point in the story? You're just reassured that she's in charge by the plot. She doesn't intervene in any way. Like, there's actually no reason to believe that she's the villain other than what she tried to manipulate the short fat guy into doing to innocent people. Like, she herself doesn't really even play a role most of the time.
Yeah,
Like, there's the occasional person she takes advantage of, and that's about it. She's a total ghost villain.
yeah. I don't know how they're going to square this. They may just have to move on with it and let it sit at this point because this was such a cord yank. I think this one.
You can. This is the Hoyoverse, and it runs on Hoyoverse rules, so she's not gone. She might be gone, but she doesn't have to be.
Yeah, they could.
Like the people do remain, and there's a lot of meat in what she says. Like, there's a lot of stuff to pick apart this time compared to normal, where she doesn't say anything of note. But I don't. It doesn't. It's not necessary that she's gone, but I think people don't want to see her for a while.
Yeah,
I think that they could have gone that route. They could have just made her go away for a bit. Because people were quite happy for the story to go nowhere while, like, Spook Shack was keeping them engaged. They didn't care back then. But keeping reminding people about Sarah without doing anything with Sarah was the problem. Like, Isolde's story is perfectly self-contained. It worked fine. The Exodus is just a broader context in which that takes place. Same with Vivian's story. The Spook Shack story was sort of like adjunct to that, and that worked well as a self-contained story. The problem is that the context, they kept reminding people of the context without doing anything with the context, which is what is causing those well executed short stories to fall apart is that people keep getting reminded, but the stakes, but the stakes, but the stakes about the broader world, but then they don't do anything with it, so it ends up feeling like a lie. Like, you keep telling us that this is urgent, that bad happening in the background, etc., etc., but it doesn't actually feel that way because you never see any of it. Nothing is taking place. The broader world hasn't moved anywhere. Like, Wi-Fi Peninsula is exactly the same way it was when you arrived. Nothing has changed, despite the stuff that has taken place. But you keep telling us every patch that everything is on the brink of total disaster. The disaster never comes. So the sense of urgency is totally gone. The person who is in the background supposedly orchestrating all this has done nothing to move the plot forward, has done nothing to move her plot forward. Like, the whole, we're all of a sudden going to just summon the creator now thing, and then that sort of imploding, that didn't feel like it was well developed. It sounds like, she suddenly discovered a way to execute something that she's claimed to know how to do all the time, and she suddenly needs all of these particular people to pull it off for reasons that were never brought into it explained. Suddenly we need the Qingming sword, despite the fact that there's no way to force Ye Guang to come down from the mountain. If she just stayed in seclusion and trained, would the entire plan have fallen apart? Would the creative just not gotten what they wanted? Like, all they've done is introduce plot hole after plot hole after plot hole. Like, at no point in the story does Phython discover that Dylan can hear the dead. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
When you have a conversation with her, she just says, "Oh, I see you've realized that I can hear the dead." Realized how? You weren't really present to see it. Like, all they've done is drilled holes in the story now because they're trying to move faster than they were ready for.
Yeah,
The problem with the story was not that you needed to speed up, but that you needed to have better editing from your storyboarding phase at inception. It was too late to try and fix it this way.
Yeah. They really need to just run this story to its natural conclusion and then pick up from there, taking lessons learned. But
this is a sloppier version of what happened with Penacony, basically.
Yeah. So we're being expedited on a bullet train to the end of the Exaltus arc. If there's a lot of ways they could have even addressed it. I think if they just taken a little bit slower of an approach and just taken, this patch to have Sarah doing stuff, and then next patch to have Sarah doing stuff until the end.
The key would have been to have her doing stuff. Like, she just always seems to be sort of standing on top of a building somewhere looking down at the heroes.
Well, yeah, that's
like,
what
it's like Tuxedo Mask style bullshit.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. They could have just had
Tuxedo
her,
Mask occasionally does stuff,
but she didn't do anything. Flash escape. But yeah,
he switches his cape and throw roses. That's all he does.
Yeah, that's that would have been the ideal scenario. Just do some rewrites to make Sarah more active in the current few patches, throw a few more scenes in there where she's directly present when events are taking place, and then just kind of roll her story to its natural conclusion, even if people are tired of her, and let her.
You could have just salted everything with a whole, like, this is a crude way of doing it, but it would have worked better. You could have salted everything with a whole bunch of flashbacks of where she was doing things behind the scenes that were sort of key to things that went wrong, things that seemed to have no explanation. Like, you can shore up a whole bunch of plot holes by simply making her responsible and showing that on screen in flashbacks. Like, you've got this mechanic that you've injected into the universe where when Phython is present, sometimes the miasma will show you the past. Like, you've got a mechanic for it. Just use it already.
Yeah, and that's not to say they don't have a way to recover some of this still active, because at the end we've still got 3 more arrays like the one that that Shingong's brother was a part of. So there's 3 more of those going on.
We are still technically in never recovered the body territory.
Yeah. So they could do some last minute bailouts to ease the burn a bit here. It's not totally hopeless. But yeah, and
yeah, I mean, this would have been shambolic if all the voices were there, but the voices being missing just made it all worse.
Yeah, because it highlighted the subject matter, at least the characters for me. I didn't tweak to the time thing, but I did take twig to what specific topics were being mentioned. And initially, I was only looking for one topic, but it turned out to be a few of them.
Yeah, it only really becomes topical towards the end, which is where you would expect, right? You would expect that if you're changing direction, then the most number of sort of like topic content rewrites would come in at the end because things are concluding in a different way than you originally expected. But if you look at early on, it's always about what did you just do? Doesn't have a voice line. What are you going to do immediately now? Doesn't have a voice line. That's the way it's structured from early on.
Yeah, and there's all the stuff with there is potential in the patch for them to pull some good stuff from. I really liked Gong's bit at the end of her trying to cover up what the Qingming sword is doing to her.
I thought that was more or less inevitable that it was going to go that way, and it's kind of emotionally manipulative, but it was the right play.
Yeah, I it's particularly like the way they did it with that was a good use of a still image, and they did a real good job with that. What they did not do so good with, I don't know if it was my PC or if it was just them failing to direct on what was supposed to be kind of a trippy, vague image in the dream sequence.
It was supposed to look like that, I'm fairly sure, but they did a really, really bad job of it.
Yeah, because
they just did a really bad job of it.
It looks unfinished, and something tells me it might have been.
I don't know if that was the case or not. But if it was unfinished, then that's bad. If it was a poorly executed idea, that's also bad. So either way, they lose.
Yeah, so that sequence in particular stood out like a sore thumb in terms of their usual cutscene excellence. That was what happened here, and it's not very long. It's like 10 seconds, but it stands out like a sore thumb because it's compared to literally every other cutscene in the game.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do that. It's too jarring. And it doesn't gain anything from doing it that way either. If it had just been a smooth cutscene like everything else, I don't think anybody would have batted an eyelash.
Yeah, but instead we got, 3 FPS Blurville. So yeah, main stories.
I mean, you could have saved that if all you'd done is just like embedded Sarah in the scene at the same time, moving at 60 FPS.
Yeah, you could have gone the still image route and it would have worked fine there. But I guess they already had the skeleton at least before for that being a fully 3 animated thing. But yeah, I don't know with the ZZZ team when it comes to overarching story stuff. I usually think of them more as character writers, and don't know if they'll be able to handle the pivot well. We'll see. They have writing chops, but so far they've only demonstrated it in character stories.
It's not going to mean anything though if the context isn't alive, because they have shown that the only story they know how to tell is orphaned by the calamity.
So yeah, that's we'll see where they're going with it on that. But this
there's
patch
heaps of like Hoyoverse stuff in there that they could mine out. I'm not saying hand this over to Xiaoji because he'll make a dog's breakfast of it, but like what is happening is got like shades of Purusha from Honkai Impact 3rd. It's got like the ideal world that Sarah describes is the finality of remembrance that gets described as the everything goes wrong on Amphorius scenario, where Trailblazer and Cyrene can't let go of each other. They just try and make the world eternal. That's what Sarah's describing. So, like, there's broader Hoyoverse implications in there if they want to draw on those. I don't think that they should do anything more than use the lightest touch to imply that stuff, because that's just not how ZZZ operates. But you can still integrate this into a broader picture. The sort of autistic focus on writing about a character and only about a character can only work in that character's bubble. And you need to be able to tell more than one story. really, that's the problem, is that they've hit the end of their rope telling the same story over and over again. They need to have characters develop a little bit rather than simply getting saved from their trauma over and over again.
Yeah, and this is the point in all Hoyo games where they all seem to hit a speed bump for one reason or another. The 2.5, 2.6 patch is usually where things start to start to hiccup a little bit, and they got
So, did they just have to take the writer to the hospital or something because he's overworked? Like, is that what happened?
like, yeah, it's possible. That whole team is probably dead on their feet after the Alice and Yuzaha patch. They cranked out the Lucia and the Yadhari patch, and that was okay. It wasn't as good as the Alice and Yuzaha patch, but it was still pretty good. But I think they just killed themselves between Miyabi and Alice because they just went hard. But we will see.
Yeah.
They're in for even more work now.
There's a balance that has to be struck between the mythic level of the storytelling and the personal level of the storytelling if you want your world to be compelling. It's as simple as that.
We'll see where they go with it. But yeah, there were a lot of shoes with this patch. They're not totally Scrooge yet. They can edge over some of the rough spots with retro context, and they can adjust it now that they've got another month and a half to get the next story ready, and hopefully have it all voiced this time. But yeah. Also, I do not recommend.
Well, I mean, how are they going to get the recordings done with the Japanese voice cast if they're not allowed to interact with Japan?
That may be a shoe for the JPVAs this time. You guys may be the ones being muted.
Well, it's not like the Chinese like America any better. Remember, America's on Japan's side in all of this.
Yeah.
Like, Xi Jinping didn't call the Japanese after the faux pas from the Japanese Prime Minister. Xi Jinping called Trump.
Yeah. Don't I don't know about the world events too much on what's going on, but because I've been very happily news disconnected for the last few weeks because it's just been all doomerisms. So the fine details of it I don't actually know, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. That's where we're at with ZZZ. I hope ZZZ is able to save it, or if not next patch in 2.5, 2.6, whatever we're going into, then in 2.7 get us on a proper unaltered track again and have something put together for us.
Well, there's one thing that's the biggest strength in the ZZ Arsenal is their responsiveness. So they're going to be getting both barrels from the CN fan base at this point for having ham-fistedly done this. They're not going to get any feedback on the voice thing since that's not a problem for the CN player base, but the CN player base are going to give them both barrels over the story, I think. I can't see into that world because they don't use Twitter, but that is going to be happening, and they do tend to take these things on board.
Yeah, it was also their alacrity to move on stuff that caused this in the first place, though. So this
I think it was necessary. They just did everything wrong.
Yeah, so I usually am glad when ZZZ moves quick on stuff. This time, though, it probably came back to bite him in the butt a bit. So we'll see. They have the most incentive out of the Hoyo games still. They're still the weakest performing of all three of the main ones. So we'll see what they do. All right. And that's pretty much it. I had half of the week off, but I just the Wuwa events ate a lot of the time. But I do have enough pulls.
One particular Wuwa event ate a lot of the time.
Yeah. Oh goodness, did it eat a lot of time. But I got through a lot of podcasts. I got through a lot of My Hero Academia. I'm totally caught up now. So yeah,
they'll be just about finished their final season at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, I have enough pulls recovered to guarantee Karthatia herself. It could happen that I get her on the next 10 pull, or it could be Timo Sephiroth.
He does seem to like you a lot.
We are 10 pulls away from the 50-50. because that's when I had got enough coral just to buy Phoebe's Waveband with the coral that I wanted. I decided just to keep the banked pity I had instead of YOLOing on more pulls.
Risking another Timu Sephiroth.
Yeah. So we got that. Gonna try and get her weapon too. Weapon's guaranteed, so if she does come quick, I can guarantee her weapon. Chacona will probably throw pulls at as the banner goes and make bad decisions closer to the end of the banner.
I do like Chacona, but her ult is a little bit light-hearted for certain environments. Like, I can imagine her ruining the tension in a lot of scenes.
Probably. But in most story events, they give you trial characters, so she'll mostly be used in overworld exploration, farming bosses, tactical holograms, stuff like that.
If you use her in story context, she still ruins the scene.
Yeah.
She seems to be really enjoying herself a lot of the time.
Yeah, her and her little ghost buddies and forest animals all just rocking out. So yeah, those two are on the pull list. I made a pull list, mostly for my own sake, but posted it in mobile games anyway. Of my current polling decisions, I'll dump it in live show chat. Oop, that's the wrong thing. That's just double post.
My poll decisions are going to be based pretty much on what we can find out about the kits of upcoming characters, because I could go the Chacona Cartathea route, like that's available to me as an option, but I'm just not that enthused about it. Like, I'm sort of looking a bit further forward rather than trying to build back in time, because I'm probably going to have to get Gigi at some point in the future somehow in order to build a more coherent version of my Carlotta team as it is, and I don't want to have like 2 previous gen teams as opposed to, you know, having one really old team and then trying to build something into the future rather than blowing all my resources on old meta, as it were. I don't expect that much power creep. Power creep in Wuwa has been comparatively slow so far, though they've never updated a character, so we don't know how long it's going to stick like that. And, you know, there are still a lot of characters who are very definitely showing their age. But, yeah, I'm keeping the option open on Cartathea and Chacona, but I am keeping an eye on the future to see, you know, what's coming down the line, because they've drip marketed quite a number of other characters. I'm just hoping that they don't make the one dude the linchpin to the team.
Yeah, they tried to do that with Galbrena. Your only other option besides the blind dude is our favorite jellyfish. If you want to
Jelly something.
if you want to echo max the female Dante. But right now I am very fusion and spectro heavy on my account and basically have no way to do any type of damage other than those two. And guess what? The in-game modes this month are resistant to.
Does it start with S and end with O?
Yeah, and fusion for the AoE one. Spectro Res and Fusion Res are both on the repeatable nodes this week or this cycle.
I'm not anywhere near thinking about doing those modes yet.
I would.
I need to. It's like I'm like comically heavy on supports. I'm not front heavy on any element. I'm just ridiculously heavy on supporting characters as opposed to something who can do damage.
And
I guess I've rebuilt Chisa into a damage dealer, which appears to hit pretty hard based on our poor Heron's recent experience.
I actually need you to help me kill this thing when I'm not. Once we finish the email, because I need to get a few of him to work on some sets, and he's a pain in the butt to farm with my teams.
Has he got Spectro resistance?
Out the butt.
Oh dear.
I mean, I know he does as a hologram. I didn't think it was quite so bad here, but I'm used to Shorekeeper doing no damage, so
yeah, I can take him down. It takes about 4 times as long. So it's yeah. I have been doing the tactical holograms as the actual in-game mode I've been putting effort into messing around with, and those are a lot of fun. They're also one and dones, so once you do them once, you're done. So they're a goal to work towards. But I've enjoyed putting effort into learning the bosses there and really getting into the feel of the gameplay mechanics. Most of them are fine. Some of them, like Maya and their whirlpools, feel a little BS and have telegraphs that are so fast that are like, I can see the telegraph, but that's so quick that if I don't notice the pre-animation before it starts, there is no way in heck I'm reacting to that. But it's not doesn't look quite impossible, just really tough, which is what I would expect from an in-game mode like that. Still wish we could do everything but the hardest difficulty on multiplayer. But no, we're not allowed to have fun.
Nope.
So yeah, I'll be the plan right now is to unfortunately skip Cantarella and leave Galbrina out in the dust. She's can kind of take care of herself sometimes when she needs to, but
There'll
yeah,
be more characters coming along,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like, they're not just going to do two characters for one gimmick and then never touch it ever again.
yeah. So hopefully we get another one. Also, Fern, if you look at the chart I sent you in your messages,
Mm.
I have made the most compelling case I can for Cantarella down there as the second to last option.
Not the most dignified
Ah.
one, though.
So you've given two very large reasons as to why to pull for her.
4 bullet points worth.
Yeah, 5, 6 actually.
So this is why you should
So
pull.
there's no actual gameplay reasons.
Well, there is at the very last bullet point.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Because the way Galbrina works is she wants echo skills of different names cast. And unless you have Cantarella or the blind dude, no attacks from characters are flagged as echo attacks in the code and have that modifier. And if you can't get 5 ones with different names cast, you can only get 3/5 of her bar filled up. So that would be the reason to pull her. But at the same time, I kind of want to make my Wuwa account go more horizontal because some gacha games you can vertically invest and that's the way to go. And usually it's down to how exclusive are the enemies.
More horizontal, says the guy who pulled on Phoebe 4 times.
Well, we make Phoebeceptions because it's Phoebe.
Phoebe is the current waifu.
Yeah, Phoebe is special because Phoebe was the one I almost started playing for. But this has backed me into a corner where I am now super Phoebe invested and need to move out a little bit because one of the in-game modes does require you to have a jank team and 2 functional teams, and the other one needs you to have realistically 3 because you can get stuck in a scenario where you just one of your elements can get hosed. Because unlike some other gacha games, elemental resistance isn't a little thing in this game. Like, it can mean a full-on 80% damage reduction.
Well, in the current Spiral Abyss, it means 100% damage reduction. You cannot use a cryo team in there this cycle.
Yeesh. It just does nothing.
They have cryo shields on key enemies to prevent you from using a cryo team.
They have anti-skirk technology.
Yeah, basically they're trying to hedge Skirk out.
Yeah, geez, they don't. I don't. It seems like a bit late. They've already had the Nouvelette problem.
Now they've got Nouvelette Mark II.
Well, they've got any of the damage host characters have been this problem forever. I don't know why they would go out of their way to hedge Skirk out.
Yeah, because especially considering Skirk needs a premium team that you have to have every member set up for, and Nouvelette doesn't need a team at all.
Nouvelette is the team.
Yeah, the stuff bolted onto Nouvelette is more just bonus.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we're at with the Wuwa account. So probably gonna let Cantarella go, even though she would be a great support for Galbrina.
She needs great support.
Well,
She could really do with some proper support.
yeah, well, unfortunately, she would be the one supporting instead of being supported. And judging by her outfit, she's not going to find that support anytime soon. In fact, I'm pretty sure she engineered that thing to be as unsupportive as possible. Celia's got their engineering chops at very special colleges.
So yeah,
So,
I'm probably not going to go for any banner characters for a while. I wanted to try and get the workhorse characters first.
yeah, it's the one that the big workhorse character that's supposedly getting a rerun in 3.0 is the one I'm trying to aim for, the one at the top of that list that I'm going to be pulling on.
Contestia.
The only shoe is you can get 70% of her. She's not like Zani where you can only get 50% without Phoebe. You can get 70% of her kit, or 70% of her output with Rover, and because you'll get Arrow Rover, and Arrow Rover will get a free 5-star weapon as part of the story. And Arrow Rover can allow her to get most of her output and be good, and she will be a good solid workhorse, and you can sword max the elf all day long.
So Catathea has the biggest numbers of any team in the game at present.
Yeah.
So if you just want to put out funny numbers, building a Catathea team is the way to go.
Yeah, I am aiming for her specifically because 1, blonde, 2, the adorable idle animation with the puppets, and 3, she's just fun to play. You get a lot of opportunities to demo her in events and throughout the story, and she's just a lot of fun to play. Incredibly confusing to play, but all of her stuff looks fabulous. And is a lot
farms aura like no.
Yeah, so I'll be trying to add her to the roster in 3.0.
I think personally I find Augusta a bit more fun to play, and I think I find a bit more fun to play, but Catathea is still very cool and does put out funny numbers.
Does a Cartophilian damage. You have to work for it, but when you get there, if you do that rotation right, oh boy, the numbers are very big and very funny.
She's also constructed out of pure spoilers, so at least do that much of the story.
Yeah, you need to get to the... You need to do the intro 3 acts to Renacita and the immediate follow-up act or 2 after that. And Renacita's like 7 acts, so... No, it's more than that. It's like 11 acts. So that's like 5 acts into Renacita. But yeah, it's worth it though. You're almost out of the slog. If you've unlocked Havoc Rover, you're going to the mountain next, and the mountain is still a slog, but it's not as slog as Wonglong. And then you get to Black Shores, and still a slog, but it's a meaningful slog that you can at least glean some fun information out of. And then you're off to Renacita, and as soon as you get picked up on Brant's boat, you're off to the races.
All right. Everything starts kicking up in the high gear rather than lore dump.
Yeah,
typically off to customs.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Don't worry, Phoebe will be there. We'll save you. So yeah, that's
This isn't like Britain. You can't just throw your passport in the water and expect them to take you to a hotel.
No, it is. It is like Italy, where a cute tiny girl with a that worships the deep needs to come up and bail you out of customs. And then you go beat up a mermaid with an office worker.
As you do.
And I've already sent you screenshots of some of the echoes around Renacita, just to show you the tonal shift to Funsville you go into as soon as you get here. So I recommend working towards that. You 22 yet?
Oh yeah, I passed 22. Also, I just discovered you can put down bomb flowers without them exploding. You need to do this to solve some puzzles.
Yes, it is a weight. It is a generic weight.
I did not know that. I thought they would explode when I dropped it on my feet. But nope.
We can invade Fern's world now. Oh, we should murder this.
Sure how to...
We should murder this thing once first, though, Make sure you get the Chivo for it.
Didn't you already do this one?
I think I did, but I'm not sure if you were close enough because you were not in the
No,
zone.
I'm pretty sure I got it.
Yeah,
Pretty sure I got it. I can't get close enough to attack him.
Yeah, you do way more damage than I do. That was a 8,000 crit with my big attack. One of those. Now I will end co-op mode and we bug firm. So yeah, and after we get into Fern's world, we can switch to the email. I posted it in live and show hosts.
Yep.
I am trying to work out which one of my monitors is actually active at present. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? I'm on the wrong tab. Where are we at? Here we go. Entitled Pinocchio. Dear No Excuses. I have finally done it. I have become a real boy. Got my first social media ban. While I, and probably you too, may have thought it would be because of hate speech, our expectations have been subverted. Someone reported me for being a bot. Not having a bio may not have helped, but a few days later I got my ban. Appealing it, of course, did nothing. So the path to becoming a real boy lies in being a clanker, apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
The timing was really inconvenient because I was going to use it to promote the dark fairy tale a friend of mine wrote after several years of work, and a number of revisions that rivals Duke Nukem Forever. She first described it as a mix of Powerpuff Girls and Game of Thrones. Of course, I spent the next 15 minutes screaming at her to not ever describe it like that ever again.
I don't know. That's
I
kind
know
of
what she means. I know what she means by that, but literally everyone else on the planet would get the complete opposite idea. It means most of the cast is female, not all of them are going to make it in their battle against the forces of corruption. Now, if it was the way most people imagine a PPG plus GOT inspired novel would be, she would probably get a lot more attention and readers, but alas, there will be no sex position or lewdness of any kind. Knowing her, not even hand-holding. So, if that tickled your fancy, keep an eye out for Lumen Moon Fayfire on Royal Road. Knowing her, she didn't even check if that title is trademarked. There was also gaming done since my last email. For example, a new GZ Doom boom shoot was released. Captain Wayne Vacation Desperation. Best described as a mix of SpongeBob and Pirate Doom aesthetics with the frantic gameplay but not the gore of Brutal Doom. So far I wasn't blown away by it, but for $10 you can do worse. That and the really good GZ Doom games are in the $15 to $25 range. Except Ash's Afterglow, which you should play because it's the best Mad Max game and it's free. Also, Hoyo stuff. I don't want to spoil ZZZ, but I have to say, compared to Genshin and HSR, the macro narrative is moving at breakneck speed. I don't think that's true at all. Whether that's good or bad, and if the HSR did the same, there's a full stop at the end of that. I can't work out what he's doing here with the grammar. Anyway, moving on. HSR did the thing with the end of patch support character, the Fugue of Amphoris, if you will, with the same problems as Fluffy Tails. Also, there is one specific scene that you can't rewatch after the final boss. That one should be watched in a mirror. Interesting ways to break the fourth wall there, guys. I don't know which one he's talking about. And finally, Wuwa added a romance anime with at least one gratuitous upskirt shot. He keeps saying this, but I don't remember it. And an extraction shooter game mode, just in time for Tarkov 1.0 release. Probably a coincidence. Anyway, this email is long enough already, so see you next week. Serathus.
Thank you for the email,
Thank you,
Serathus.
Yeah. I don't think that ZZZ have successfully moved the meta plot anywhere. I think that what they are doing is furiously trying to smash the shackles of not doing anything with the plot at all that has been holding them back all this time, and then accidentally shooting themselves in the foot while doing it. Not really sure where he's going with the HSR thing, since there appears to be a piece of sentence missing there. And I don't know what scene he's talking about after the final boss. There are a lot of scenes after the final boss. That's the sort of the problem with that story, is that there is about 4 hours of scenes after the final boss, or so it feels.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Although having an upskirt in their promotional material sounds on brand.
I mean, maybe.
They know the crowd they're catering to.
I mean,
I don't remember, but
it's
you
what
can see up her skirt all the time when you're flying, and she wears spats, so there's no big deal.
yeah, like even like I try very.
Storekeeper, on the other hand, does not.
You see everything.
I am very, very happy that Phoebe wears bloomers on top of her panty or on top of her pantyhose.
I sort of, every time Phoebe bends over, I sort of instinctively avert my eyes, so I don't actually know.
Oh, there's a chest up here.
Because it's a little bit gratuitous in Phoebe's case, I feel.
Yeah, it's really, really bad if you dash air dodge dash fly, because the camera will wig out and start auto zooming right up her skirt.
I was thinking more about her idle animation where she's trying to catch the leaf.
Oh, usually I'm watching from the front when I'm leaving a character idling. By the way, for me and Vol have characters that just kind of accidentally murder the entire environment around you.
I've sort of noticed things just tend to get deleted.
Challenge.
There's also big silly numbers coming up over the horizon.
Vol can do the bigger numbers than I can.
I'm playing a healer.
Sensor. Drone.
Oh, I cannot.
Whoops, that was the wrong button.
I'm cold. In the circle.
The tool button and the ultimate button are right next to each other on the keyboard, and I just pressed the wrong one.
There's a chest on the roof. Rough.
Yeah, I've got a lot of lawn mowing to do as well.
There's also
I actually haven't done the current event in Wuwa. I don't even know what it's about, but I heard it's more eco-centric than most.
It's a generic combat event, if it's that one I'm thinking of.
I don't know. I haven't touched it. So there's only one running at the moment, right?
Yeah, I think
Other
so.
than the story-based one.
Yeah, I'm double checking now. Tactics Simulacrum. Yeah, it's they give you trial characters, like full max level trial characters, if you don't have characters to take into it yourself. And I was able to max score fairly easily with trial characters for each round. So far, I don't know if there'll be a bonus super hard round at the end or not. Also, Fern, you just walked right by the pickup node for the teleport point. Big one.
No. Oop. All right. Unfortunately, I don't have really anything to add to that email.
Yeah, cool that your friend got her book done. I have.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
I've considered. Yeah.
Hopefully, she won't get sued.
Yeah.
Yeah. Royal Road tends to be a bit cutthroat sometimes, so just watch out for that.
Fern, come back. Get the big teleport point.
Yeah. I'm trying to puzzle over here. So I should already have that. Oh, I don't have that one.
This is how you see the map, though, Fern.
Well, I can already see this part of the map. That's why I thought I already had this one.
Yeah, that is odd. Why is there one out here?
I don't know. It's just there because
Reasons.
Fly over it. Oh no. Okay, it turned
Maybe?
on. You're good.
Or am I actually getting your maps?
No. We'll see our map completion percentage if we look at your map. But we see right? Your map. You got a Lampy Lumen.
I got the Leafy Lumen. I think it's about the only cryo echo I have.
That's okay. She wants impermanence Heron anyway. Because everybody wants regular.
But don't go too far out of your way to farm anything other than the basics until you've got at least a 50% drop rate for gold echoes.
Yeah,
Because nothing below gold is worth investing and building up because you'll just run out of resources really quickly.
and
Oh, yeah.
Echo EXP is the most premium resource on your account.
I've noticed that it does not go very far at all.
Yeah, you will want the ability to at least get a starter set of good echoes on all your characters as soon as you can get all gold ones.
Oh, I see a thingy. Charge! Oh, those are some silly numbers.
I feel like Phoebe's numbers are bigger than mine.
When I have the charge attack and the juice bar all
I mean
built up,
physically larger.
Oh,
I mean physically larger, like on the screen.
Like I'm about to say,
There's a 3-star one of those. Shame it's useless.
So I wouldn't be surprised if your numbers were of higher numerical value than mine because you're playing a DPS character and I'm playing a healer. However, they are really like gigantic on my screen.
That's very strange.
I wonder if that's a facet, because I've noticed that too. I wonder if that's a facet of just because of the way the camera zooms out for her animations to show you where you're hitting. They make the numbers bigger so they don't get lost.
Maybe. All right. As far as news this week goes, like I said at the start of the show, there isn't a whole lot. Again, we're in the holding pattern before the Jeff Keighley show, and everyone announces their big upcoming things for 3 years down the line.
Teleport point.
The biggest bit of news that I've seen actually come out this week has been one that Ubisoft seems to be wanting to sweep under the rug, and that's their Attack on Titan crossover with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Have you guys actually had a chance to watch any footage from that?
No, but I imagine it's worse than you're making it sound.
Oh my, yes. Yeah, Ubisoft is apparently actively squashing videos that are being put up for it. So it looks amateur, absolutely amateur. It is a free update, but and it comes with a few cosmetics that'll get you your Attack on Titan costumes and all that to play with in the game. Giant asterisk. We'll come back to that in a moment. But essentially, you do a quest where you run into a couple of Attack on Titan characters and you run away from a Titan, and that's it. The Titan looks like
A Titan.
Looks like a PS. It came out on the PS2. It looks ridiculous.
I mean, you got to clarify your ridiculous there, because there's all the Titans look ridiculous as merit of their design, and then there's just bad.
Yeah. In this case, it's just bad. Like Attack on Titan, you watch the series and the Titans themselves run the gamut. From completely and utterly absurd to Uncanny Valley to every now and again actually terrifying. This one, it just looks like default naked male model with grinning face attached, being plonked into a completely different universe. Like, it's even sort of... The colors are just wrong, so it looks like it's semi-animated rather than the realistic style of the rest of the game. And it's
everything about this sounds terrible, TBH.
Yeah. Now we'll come back to that asterisk. The cosmetics, the Attack on Titan cosmetics. If you play through the story, Yasuke gets a sword. Yay.
Hooray.
The rest of the cosmetics are all in the cash shop. All of them.
Because of course they are.
Because of course they are. Let's just try this again.
You can just fly above it and then go into glide mode and drop down.
I mean, I could. Or
That's not what I had in mind.
Things. That's fine. I'll just do this. So, yeah, the whole thing has been an absolute circus, and even the biggest defenders of Ubisoft have basically said, well, this is a free update and I want my money back.
Yeah, I don't, generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of crossovers. Like, usually they're terrible. Sometimes they're
Mhm.
mediocre if you're lucky. Usually they're terrible. I'm not looking forward to the Wuwa one that's coming up.
Oh, who are they
Um,
crossing over with?
3.4 at last rumor is scheduled to be a crossover with Cyberpunk.
That's yeah,
All I
okay.
hear
The anime or
it-
the? I assume the anime.
the anime.
Yeah,
All I hear is beat patch to save all my asterite.
yeah.
The
'Cause
recover from
there are a
Cartothea
lot of
patch.
people. There are a lot of people who really, really loved that anime. Like, it was super, super popular. I don't know why. Maybe it's really awesome. I honestly don't know. But it's not enough for me to want to be involved in such a thing.
Yeah. So I haven't had a chance to watch it. I've heard it's apparently pretty good. So that's about it. It is bright and colourful, I'll give it that. And I can't do this challenge in co-op mode.
There'll be a lot of those.
There's a lot you can't do in co-op mode.
Just mark it on the
No
map.
Flag
fun.
it on just pin it on your map and come back later.
That's what I did
Yeah.
when me and Vol were running around my world, murdering stuff last week. Just pin it and come back to it after the show.
Yeah, come back to that later. So yeah, that's that whole business. Apparently, rumor is that Ubisoft is also just not going to bother putting out any more paid DLC for Shadows. I don't know how true that one is though.
Probably be a smart decision, but depends on what their investors that say they need to do.
Yes. And at this point, by investors, they also mean Tencent now. So yeah, Shadows did not do good. What other bits of news are there out there?
Most of it's continued speculation on who's going to win. The great endorsement of the Dorito Pope, my chagrin. That's all that's coming up in my YouTube feed.
For the most part, yeah.
I don't think I've seen any game news. Like, it is true, my algorithm has gotten like retardedly slanted in favor of Wuwa and Hoyo game rumors and things. So that tends to be what crops up the most. But yeah, I suppose there's been a lot of stuff about the beta for Arknight's Enfield and that as well. But
You did show me a sheep.
I did. There's been a certain amount of debate over that one as well. Apparently the 50/50 is a bit more generous, but the 50/50 itself doesn't carry over. So there's a lot of people who are like, there's absolutely no reason to make the gacha any worse than it is in other gacha games if you really want to compete. But there was some other respect in which it was more generous. I think it was something like the first hard pity is at 80, but if you lose the 50/50, then the next hard pity hits at 40, or something like that.
That's a fairly generous way of doing it.
Except
Yeah,
for the
but they
part
could
where
be
it
more
doesn't.
generous and just not have a 50/50.
They could.
I feel like the day of the 50/50 should be coming to an end before too long because it's kind of retarded. But you can't get people to turn money down, so
Wu was half out. Their weapon banner at least doesn't do a 50/50. That's guaranteed no matter what.
Oh, good.
Character banner still has the 50/50. You're going to see a lot of Timu Sephiroth, if you're me.
Yes. I haven't seen a single Timu Sephiroth yet, and hopefully it remains that way.
I got him at Wave Band 3. I pulled 4 copies of that SO.
He's also bad.
Yeah.
he's good if you're extremely skilled. Like,
Yeah.
you know everything inside out. Like, because he's actually got a high damage ceiling. Like he's in the league of the sort of the premium limited characters in terms of damage ceiling. It's just the execution required to get there is retardedly difficult.
You know the most common usage I see people post for him? Remember how I mentioned one of the premium or one of the in-game modes requires you to have a junk team for nodes for like the first 2 nodes of each set? He is the designated member of the junk team.
Oh dear.
because you just need something to output
So
enough damage to kill the boss. It doesn't have to be elegant, just to save the
Just
usage.
blow it up.
Yeah, just to make sure it doesn't use up your main team's a
He-
lot of
he's
attempts.
the one that you put in the trash nodes on an Imaginarium theater.
Yeah, exactly that. That is his role, is to be the dump to save you lightning bolts.
All right. Let's see. Any other news? I'm just doing a quick flick through, but I'm not seeing a whole lot because it's everything's in the holding pattern.
We have chest and shooty thing. And flutterflies.
Flutterflies. Let's see. That's old. We've already talked about that one. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's like the sort of things that I saw reported in my feed as gaming news this week were kind of tragic, like the Hyrule Warriors DLC and stuff like that. So I
Oh,
think
yeah.
there's a bit of a niche audience for that particular news. You're just gonna
Yeah.
completely ignore that chest, huh? Gonna fly right by it. Okay.
Hang on. I can only track one shiny at a time. I was tracking a different shiny.
We worked so hard, killed all them wolves for this chest for you.
Also, butterflies.
Even got a shooty challenge next to it. I don't know.
It
if
does
I've-
have a shooty challenge.
I don't know if I've
Which
done
you
this
can't
shooty
interact
challenge.
with.
No, you can do shooty.
Actually, I think I can do shooty challenges.
You can do
They're
shoot-
an exception, are they?
Yeah.
I think
Why
so,
are they an
yeah.
exception? What's wrong with the other
Reason.
one?
Well, remember, even though they're an exception, they wigged the F out last time when I did one. Remember?
That was true.
Pew, 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 pew.
See you struggle bus in here.
Okay. Apparently,
This is being recorded for posterity.
posterity.
Is it bugged out?
I think it's bugged out because I'm hitting the thing and it's just not reacting.
Just keep shooting. Just speed shoot in that spot, and eventually, when it makes its way back around on my screen, because I think it's
Wrong
desynced
button.
from where you're shooting, I'll tell
Do I
you.
just kind of shoot around it.
Just shoot right there, in a straight line. No, I think you're just screwed. Bookmark it.
Yeah, I think that's screwed. So okay, so shooting challenges allegedly are available.
This is the explanation for why so many things are disabled in
Heck, they
multiplayer.
don't
I
work.
presume. It's just like, well, we tried enabling them, but all kinds of weird shit happened.
Yeah. Also, the timer's gone, so
But you can't quit and restart because it's not going to let you.
Nope.
No, I had to relaunch the whole game to get it to fix.
Jank.
Good old
At
co-op.
least I can chase butterflies.
And chase the flutterflies.
Yeah. The only other thing that keeps popping up on my stream that I really don't care about is people doing AI swaps on Interstellar. And I don't care about Interstellar.
I don't know what Interstellar is.
That's that really awful looking one by Naughty Dog with the bald bounty hunter woman. It looked bad.
I still don't know anything about it.
Well, we had the
Right.
the reveal trailer at last year's Dorito Pope show, and we've heard nothing since. Because everyone just kind of saw it and just went, no.
It's more Naughty Dog slop.
Yeah, basically. And they went out of their way to show, oh yes, this game is covered in 80s product placement, and the main character is an unlikable bitch. So yeah.
I think I kind of remember now.
It's not ringing a bell. Must have
Yeah.
completely faded
If
from
you
my
completely
brain.
forgot about it, I would completely understand.
It just wasn't remarkable in any way. It was like, oh, so this is like Outer Worlds again.
Maybe? Except 80s themed, I guess. cheese flavored. Incidentally, are echoes instanced, or is it just whoever grabs them first?
Instanced.
Okay.
Our drops are
Yeah.
contained.
Our drops are reduced to the quality of your drops.
Oh no! Enjoy getting
so
rubbish echoes then.
we'll
mean-
just feed them into the grinder.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
they
whatever
will
long.
they will spit back out yellows after we grind them up. So they
For me, they're just going to sit in the pile until it comes time to grind.
bear must die.
And bear.
Not there anymore. Killed that bear.
Drop an echo, and no.
Oh no, Vol, you're on your own with that one. I can't kill it.
All right. Do we actually finish on time for a change?
I guess so.
I mean, we could.
All right.
For the sheer novelty of it.
All right. All right. This has been No Excuses for this week. We technically are coming up on episode 700. Don't know what we're going to do for that. We have not made any plans.
No, we probably should figure that out.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that over the coming next couple of weeks and let you know as soon as we know something, and we'll get back to you. End of year break will
Also,
be.
holy crap.
What?
The 700 episode.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for that long.
Only
Do be that way, Mr. Stancil.
only 14 years.
Just gonna sit there and just decay quietly.
Yeah, I think I'll just decompose a little bit. Don't mind me. All right. Take us out then.
All right, folks. You've been watching running around the world and murdering the entire ecosystem on YouTube. We'll be back next week. Sayonara. Bye-bye.